G'day Teacher Geeks. You've probably played that classic Guess Who game with the, the two boards and you flip up the guy and does yours have glasses, red hair, whatever it is. I don't play that to recap and in my classes, but I do play a game I call Guess Who, and it works like this. You need a list of key terms on pieces of paper, right? And then once you've got those, you give every student one of those pieces of paper. They're not allowed to look at it. They stick it on their forehead. Now, they are a person, a place, a thing, a key term. They're something from what you've been studying or teaching in your current unit. Their job is they have to walk around the classroom and figure out what they are by asking only yes or no questions. Now, the devil is always in the details. So here's another couple of little tricks as well. Make the rule they can only ask one student one question, right? And then they have to move on. Otherwise, you'll just get pockets of students just talking backwards and forwards. So you say you're allowed to ask one question per student, and then you have to move on. Hopefully, you're going to get a little bit more movement and engagement, and you're going to get students talking to each other. All right, that's it. Now, you can set a timer, and I always like to add a bit of competition where I can. So, you could use your kitchen timer and say, right, 5 minutes. Whoever gets the most right in that time, right, is the winner. So, can't score. So, if I guess it right, then they come up to the front, they get another card, right, and they go again. And of course, they give you their card, so then you can just keep recycling and giving different cards to different students. Or you'll have a pile. Now, how do you get the words or the things to put on the Guess Who cards? Two ways. One, you can prepare them yourself, and this is a real benefit at the beginning of any unit to figure out exactly what your key terms and your key concepts are, because then you can just have them on a document and print them, and then they're ready to go for this and a bunch of activities that I've already explained and I will explain in the future. That's one way. Another way that I like, because it follows my golden rule of teaching, never do anything yourself that you can get the students to do. Have them come up with the key terms. And the instruction I always give is write down something, a key term or concept from this unit that you think everyone should know, but not everyone will think to write. And then that way you're going to get the best stuff, but you're not going to get the most obvious one, like the thing that you talk about every day or the thing that you just learned in yesterday's lesson. And then you sit up the front and students will bring them up to you, and then you can just filter out if you have double ups or you have repeats. And then you can also be, in that time, that 2 minutes it takes, you can be adding some key terms for yourself. Now, the reason why I like doing this way is this covers so many things. For one, it saves us valuable time. I can use that 2 minutes in the start of my class to be preparing the activity with the students. I'm not using my break time or my time outside of the lessons. I'm utilizing that class time to prepare and to create the resource for the activity. Also, by getting the students to take the time for themselves to create the key terms, there's recapping and consolidation going on at that very moment. So it's not just downtime. I'm not getting them to do the work for me for no payoff. That's the process of the revision, the whole purpose of the game. So that's it, Guess Who. Now, another variation is you could play this in groups. If you've got a really big class or if you don't want students walking around, you could create a stack of cards for each group. So maybe a group, threes always work best. I think they're better than pairs and fours. Rule of three, so if you've got groups of 3 students, but you would want to have at least probably 12 cards per group. And so for this, it really works best if you've got pre-prepared stacks of cards you've cut out. Then you've got groups of 3. They go face down, and each person in the group of 3 will put the card on their forehead, and they take turns at asking yes or no questions, and they're playing against each other to see who can get the most right. Guess Who? It's not the most amazing game. It's not going to have people writing home to grandma telling them about how amazing it is, but it's just another tool we put in the toolkit so that every lesson we have these new, fun, different activities that help review, revise the content that we've been trying to study. Right? It's very easy to just rely on Kahoots and do them every day, but soon enough, students get sick of it. And across the school, if every day, every teacher's doing a Kahoot, right, we need something a bit new. So Guess Who? I like it. I do it at least once or twice every unit. The thing I like most about it is seeing students up out of their chairs and walking around the room to start a lesson. I think that's a really great way to get a bit of movement and a bit of energy and engagement first thing. I always like to start a consolidation activity in my Chaser framework with something that has ideally movement, engagement, excitement, maybe a bit of competition, right? And of course, some relevant content that we're reviewing. If you've got any variations of that, if you've got any ideas on how to improve it, please leave a comment, or if you give it a go in your class and it fails miserably, let me know, or if it's a success, I'd also like to hear from it. If this was valuable and it's something you're going to put in your toolkit, then all I ask, just leave a like. That would be really great. All right, thank you and good luck.